my name is Elizabeth and welcome to my channel. In today's video I am finally ticking something off my bucket list, as it were, that's been on my goal list for years and years and years, which is making macarons. I finally have made some macarons and I have ticked that off my list. I'm also meeting some cute little new arrivals at my parents' house, and then I'm also getting on with some larger tasks in the garden and giving a little vegetable patch update as well. So I hope you enjoy this video. I've decided today is the day that I'm going to make some macarons. It's on my list. If you've watched one of my previous videos of my 1, 3, 5 year plan, goal list, should I say, making macarons is on there, and it's just something I've never got around to doing, but I absolutely love to eat them. So I've made my meringue mix. I've also made my almond paste mix in my lovely Christmas bowl. I'm not sure either of these are looking like they should, to be honest. And I'm about to add in some red food colouring to make the meringues pink, make the macarons pink. And then I've got to mix the two together, but I'll show you what the mixtures look like in their current form. Here is the meringue mixture. It was forming peaks, not quite so much now, but I think I might have knocked too much air out of it, possibly. And here is the almond mixture, which I'm just going to give another good mix because it isn't completely mixed. And then I'm going to probably transfer it into a larger bowl because I need to add the meringue mix to this, and I don't think this bowl is going to contain all of it. I've added the food colouring. I did add a little bit too much. My camera is giving it a nice marshmallow pink, but it is more of a, it's definitely a darker pink than that. I'm not gonna lie, this mixture so far is not looking pleasant or like what I imagine the mixture of macarons to look like. I've still got half a bowl of meringue mixture to add. I'm not gonna hold my breath with this. I mean, the meringue mixture looks nice. Mixed together it doesn't. I'm a little bit concerned now. I'm folding it in nicely, but this might be one of those things that I will continue to have to purchase when I want a treat, and not something I will be making on a regular basis if this doesn't come out nice. Okay, the mixture is looking more like I was expecting now, so I'm not panicking quite as much. Now I need to pipe this out onto some baking paper and then leave it to sit for half an hour or so before I can bake it. All right, now I'm going to be piping. A couple here. Piping is not my strong point. I've tried to pipe cakes before. It's just not something. This actually is quite a good consistency. I don't know whether it's the correct consistency or not for macarons, but it's easy to pipe, which is quite nice. So I'm getting on with it a little bit better than I expected. I don't think Bake Off will be calling me anytime soon. Here's my tray of them so far. I'm going to do another couple of trays of these because I've got a lot of mixture left over, more than I expected. So I'm going to do some more and then get them ready to bake. I am putting the first tray into the oven. I don't think they look too bad. I have to say, now that these are out of the oven, I think they're looking, oh, they're hot. They're looking pretty good. And I don't mind the colour actually. I think the colour has come out nicely. Again, the colour is not looking the same on the screen as it is here, but I think they've come out quite well. I just need to do the filling now. I've got my macaron with the filling in it. So now I can officially tick off making macarons. I'm at my parents' house and we've had a mummy duck sat on some eggs, and now we've got 2 babies. I don't know if any more are going to hatch. She was sat on quite a few eggs, but we have got 2. So they're going to move to another enclosure, sorry, later today. It's Daddy Duck. Mummy Duck is sat on the rest of her eggs still, but these ducks are about 3 days old now, so I don't think the rest are going to hatch. But it'll be very nice for my daughter to be able to see these two little beauties grow up. Seeing the ducks at her grandparents is one of her favourite things to do. More parts of my parents' garden. Absolutely swamped with hollyhocks, but I actually really like hollyhocks. So when these go to seed, I'm going to grab a load so I can add some to my garden. This is part of the vegetable patch area. We've got some raspberries down here, a couple of grapevines, and that bit in the middle there is actually an asparagus bed, which is going along quite nicely. And over here we've got more hollyhocks, just taking over the place, but I think they give a real nice country cottage vibe. And then we've got a little door there covered in roses. Some really, really lovely parts of this garden. I've decided to start tackling this part of the garden a bit more. I've been leaving things in the beds just as they are to see what they are throughout the year and then decide if I want to remove them or not, but some of them I know I just don't like. These, I can't remember the names of them, but they're huge and I really don't like them and they just take up a lot of space. And top of the garden I kind of have control of. And I'm working on the beds, clearing things out, making space, and then adding new things. So these are all new plants here that I've added. Onwards is stuff that I've inherited when I moved in. And things like the lemon balm. Lemon balm down here isn't too bad, but further up the garden it's taking over the place. I've got a bald patch here that I don't know why there's nothing growing in there, so I need to find out whether that soil's any good. And then here I've got loads of wild mint that's just growing where the lawn should be. I've got a pot of geraniums. I've got a wildlife pond here in a tin container, which I'm actually going to keep because I do quite like this. It's got nice grass that's coming out here. And then I also have this, which looks like it had grasses in it at some point, but nothing is growing in there now. So I need to make use of this pot. I also have a tree here that I'm not too sure what it is. Yeah, it's just a bit untidy. I've also got a hebe that's like right in the path. I don't understand the thought behind the planting of that there, so I think I'm going to move that to this side of the bed. I don't want to get rid of it completely. I will rehome it, as it were, and then I can then tackle it further I go, because along here you can see lemon balm is just, I mean, I think some of this lemon balm is taller than I am. The rose is just getting lost in amongst it. I've got this hazel this side, which is kind of encroaching as well, and then this plant also, which was a funny spindly looking thing at the beginning of the year, and now it's just got lots of green leaf. It's just spread. It's everywhere. So I'm going to tackle this section a little bit at a time and just keep on working at it. Now that the weather's a little bit cooler than it was earlier in the week, I'm going to, my plan anyway, is to move the marjoram from here and put it in that pot there and make use of it, because that marjoram is just taking over pretty much the whole herb bed. But I want to keep it because the flowers are very, very pretty on it. I've cleared away the mint. I need to trim this grass back now that I can see where everything is. But now I'm just going to empty this grass from here. There's loads of ash in there, which I'm assuming must have been from the wood burner in the house. So I'm going to have a quick Google and see whether it's worth leaving that in there or taking it out. I seem to be having a real sense of decision paralysis with the garden. I've got quite a long border, which I'll just show you, all along here. Me is just thinking, just rip them out, because you don't like them. They're not really adding anything. And that way I can actually see what I've got for the border and what I have to work with. I've also got a fennel here that I need to get rid of. Another random little plant here that I don't know what. Part of me feels like I should just pull everything out and then I'll know what I have to work with. But then the other part of me is like, no, they're living things, leave them be for the moment. But I just don't like them. And everything is just chaos, like just getting down this path is difficult. I've got this leafy thing which I'm definitely removing at some point. And then down here this very pretty plant has appeared, but it's growing around a compost bin that I did not place here. This was a left behind one. And I've got a random metal pole, and I'm sure I've also probably got lots of bricks and rubble in amongst here. This is also another compost bin that just lives there. I'm sure there's more bricks and rubble in here because I seem to be finding a lot of that as I'm digging. And I just don't seem to be actually achieving anything because I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm just going to go for it and pull these out. I really don't like them. And they're just, if I come backwards, you can just see how much space they take up. I think voicing this on here has made my decision for me. I'm going to pull them out. I just don't like them and they are humongous. Just pulling those 3 or 4 plants out from here. It's already opened it up so much. You can see how much lemon balm there is now. All that there is lemon balm. But they were hiding this plant here. This one down here. And it means I can move the Hebe in its place, I think, for the moment. Get rid of this. Give that poor rose a bit of a chance. I've still got more of those plants down here in the dumping zone. I will leave these ones to flower for the summer. Once the flowers are over, I will dispose of those ones as well because I do not want them self-seeding, which is what all the others have done along here. But I'm going to tidy up this area now and then have a look at the lemon balm and see what of that I can pull out. I will keep a little bit of lemon balm. I don't mind a small amount, but I don't need a massive shrub like this. Whilst pulling up the lemon balm, I found this funky little guy, which I'm gonna pop back down here. Okay. But it's definitely opened up more. There's still some lemon balm at the back there, which I'll leave be for the moment. I need to fix the brick path that's meant to come down here. And I found these plants that were completely hidden below, so I'm going to move them into the bedding as well, because this is obviously going to be a path down here. And tidy up a bit more around here. Now this is obviously a plant that grew last year and obviously had some very cool seed heads, but it hasn't grown back this year, so it's obviously been strangled by the lack of light from everything else that was growing, which is a shame. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but it looks cool. So I can pull all that dead foliage out as well. It just means that the bottom of the garden is now a bit more visible instead of having a green wall there. So I'm going to tidy that up and then see where I stand with it all. I have dug up the Hebe shrub, which was in the middle of the path, just there. Now I was going to put it in the border, but I just don't like it enough for it to go in the border. So what I've done instead is I've popped it into one of these to see how it does, because then I can move it around to somewhere that I want it, because I know I don't want it in the border. I don't think it goes with the rest of the plants. So it's going to live here for the minute until obviously the shed moves, and all of these pots here will move as well. I'm also going to empty this one of all of the geraniums that are growing in there. And I'm going to pop I think it's the marjoram herb in it, because that's a nice big bushy plant as well. And again, that will move around once the shed has moved. To help encourage this clematis to climb, I have made this little makeshift webbing with some string that I've got, some twine, because it just kept on growing down behind the rhubarb, which is not where we want it. I'd like it to climb up there, so hopefully that will help it. And then when this bit here is long enough, I can also tuck that in there and just encourage it to climb up against the gate. Just giving a little vegetable garden update. My little square patches aren't doing a great deal. I think majority of these are actually weeds and not radishes. This side was lettuce that I planted. That could be lettuce, but the rest of it, I mean, that's a clover. Where that came from, I don't know. So again, I might need to redo this patch. I'm wondering if maybe this patch here doesn't get enough sun, but then I think it's probably get even less here. The only one that is doing something are the beetroot. So I have plenty of those at the moment. I'm going to have to thin those out eventually, but I'm going to let them carry on going a bit more. And down here as well was another type of lettuce that could be something. That's bindweed. So all in all, the beetroot's fine. It's just the rest of it that needs to kind of figure out what it's doing, or I'll just reuse those patches for something else. Then I've got my tomato plants. I've got the 3 tomato plants here, and this one has got its first little tomatoes on there, which are plum tomatoes, or plum shaped tomatoes. And then this one over here has got some lovely little round ones. So they're doing really well. Let's see this middle one. I haven't seen any fruit on this middle one yet, but there's still time. And then I've got my kale underneath this, which is looking a little bit worse for wear. I think where I was watering it, the water was sitting on top of the netting and scalding it where it's been so hot. But I also didn't want it to get demolished by the cabbage white butterflies, of which I've seen a lot of this last few weeks. And then down here I have my courgette plant, and I do in fact have some little courgettes coming along, so this plant's doing really well also. So fingers crossed for a good crop on this. Last year I only had 1 courgette plant in the allotment, and that did us fine for the whole summer. It constantly had courgettes on it. And then over here in the herb garden that I'm slowly emptying, we do have some teeny tiny little ones here on the tomato plants that I've got growing in here. So that's all good. And then the strawberries down here have all finished, so I need to go through here, pull out the weeds, and also cull some of these strawberries, because I do not need this many growing into the lawn. And then we've also got the soft fruit, which is slowly coming to an end. We do have the odd bit of fruit left, which I'm going to pick later today, but all in all this has mainly gone over, so I'll leave it until more of the autumn, and then I'll cut back all of the bits that are fruited and then keep the new growth that we've got down here for it. For the path, I have managed to continue extending it, pulling up the diagonal ones. Here's one, there's a couple more up that I need to move, but it's slowly getting there. And I've removed majority of the weeds from around that lovely rose and all along here. So we're making some slow progress with it all, but I really do need to figure out what I'm going to be planting in this section, because it's now very, very bare. I do have plants to go in, but I don't want them to be too hidden. I need to come out in the morning and see exactly how much sunshine this patch gets during the day, because I come out here in the evenings, so it's always shady. It doesn't mean it's shady during the day though. My poor rosemary has not survived being moved down here, unfortunately. The lavender seems to be doing okay. These flowers are going over, but it has got some new ones there, which makes me think that it's surviving. I do have another lavender to bring down here, but I'm wondering whether I should or should not plant it in this area. I think I should, and we'll just see how it goes. But look, I have grapes on my vine. I have a lot of grapes on the vine, all in here. So, I don't know what colour they are, whether they're going to be white or red, or how edible they're going to be. Oh gosh, there's loads. But I have got grapes, which is absolutely fantastic. What I am going to try and do now is just hack at this bamboo a little bit. I have nowhere to put it, I'll just have to store the bamboo in a pile and take it to the tip at some point. But bamboo is very invasive, and I want to get on top of it before it gets too mad, and I also think it's hiding rats in it as well. So I'm going to be slowly, week by week, hacking at this large amount of bamboo. I've made a bit of a dent. I've got rid of all of that. I've just stored it inside the seat for the moment. If anyone has any suggestions of what I can use bamboo for, so it doesn't just get wasted, please let me know in the comments. As you can see, I have made a hole where you can see my neighbour's kayak. I've just got all of that to go and all of that there to go. And I'm hoping that obviously this geranium's just going to carry on trailing. I'll be happy for a trail around the front there. But once we've got the shed in this space here, and then there'll be a fence with a gate, the rest of the garden will be, I mean, the garden's hidden anyway, we look at the size of that tree, but it just gives some privacy. I don't mind this bottom bit down here being open, because it's not somewhere we're going to be playing, it's somewhere we'll be coming to sit and have barbecues and things like that, and we're well hidden from anywhere with all of that pond reed the other side. I can show you. Here is the river. But it'd just be nice for this to not be taken over by bamboo. And there definitely are rats down there as well. It's another very lovely sunny evening, and I've just been doing all of the watering, and there's a couple of things that I have noticed, and that is my raspberries. I was originally going to cut all this down come the autumn, ready for next year. However, I've noticed a few bits of the new growth that has sprung up has flowers on it, which is making me think that maybe some of these are actually autumn raspberries. So I'm going to have to wait and see if they come through with fruit. There's some more over here as well. And then once they have finished fruiting later in the year, I'll then cut back all of this section, because if I come out a bit, you can see that the raspberries have taken over quite a bit of the patio somewhat, so that will all be cut back, and then I can thin them through and try and organise it a bit more than what it currently is, ready for next year. It'll also give my current bushes a bit more breathing space as well. And then over here, this blue plant, which I've mentioned previously, is not marjoram like I thought it was. I can't remember how it's pronounced, but it begins with a H, like hyssop or something like that, and it's actually poisonous. So I will be removing this once it's finished flowering, and then getting rid of it, because I don't want poisonous plants in the garden whilst my daughter is at the put everything in my mouth stage. But as you can see, the bees absolutely adore it. So I am a little bit sad to get rid of it, but I also don't understand why it's in a herb bed when it's a poisonous herb. But it's very pretty, and the bees love it. I've had a few butterflies in here as well, so it'll stay until it's finished flowering, and then I will get rid of it. And the plan is to have a lot more bee and butterfly friendly plants in the garden anyway, as I start to plan out the garden. And I've still got this whole bed along here to fill out, and eventually I will have this bed here will continue further down once the shed has been moved. I've also got lots of lovely pears coming along nicely. I've had no more of those caterpillars, which has been nice, and we do have plenty of pears, so I won't be short on them once those are ripe and ready to eat.